The National Electrical Code does not specify a specific rating for a switch operating a lighting transformer. The rating of the switch will depend on the load requirements of the transformer. For a small, low-voltage lighting transformer, a switch rated for 15 amps would likely be adequate. For a larger transformer used in commercial applications, a switch rated for 20 or 30 amps may be required. In general, it is recommended to use a switch rated for at least double the amperage of the transformer load to ensure reliable operation and prevent potential overheating. This approach provides a safety margin and helps prevent nuisance tripping or premature failure of the switch. When selecting a switch for a lighting transformer, it's essential to consider several factors to ensure safe and reliable operation. Firstly, determine the primary current of the transformer. This can be calculated by dividing the transformer's volt-ampere rating by the primary voltage. For example, if a transformer has a volt-ampere rating of 1000 volt-amps and a primary voltage of 120 volts, the primary current would be approximately 8.33 amps. Secondly, select a switch with an amperage rating that is at least double the calculated primary current. In the previous example, a switch with a rating of at least 16.66 amps would be recommended. A standard 20 amp switch would meet this requirement. Thirdly, consider the type of load being switched. Lighting loads can be inductive, which can cause voltage surges when the switch is opened or closed. Select a switch that is rated for inductive loads or general purpose use to handle these surges. Fourthly, ensure that the switch is rated for the appropriate voltage. The switch's voltage rating should be equal to or greater than the primary voltage of the transformer. Fifthly, consider the environmental conditions where the switch will be installed. If the switch will be exposed to moisture, dust, or extreme temperatures, select a switch that is rated for those conditions. Sixthly, check the National Electrical Code and local electrical codes for any specific requirements for switches used with transformers. These codes may specify additional requirements for switch ratings, wiring methods, and overcurrent protection. Seventhly, install the switch in a suitable enclosure. The enclosure should protect the switch from physical damage and environmental conditions. Eighthly, use appropriately sized conductors to connect the switch to the transformer and the power source. The conductor size should be based on the amperage rating of the switch and the length of the circuit. Ninthly, provide overcurrent protection for the circuit. This can be done using a circuit breaker or fuse. The overcurrent protection device should be sized to protect the conductors and the switch. Tenthly, properly ground the switch and the transformer. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to protect people and equipment from electrical shock. Some additional considerations include the transformer inrush current, which can be significantly higher than the normal operating current. This inrush current occurs when the transformer is initially energized and can last for a few milliseconds. When selecting a switch, it's important to ensure that it can withstand this inrush current without being damaged. Also consider the switch type. There are several types of switches available, including toggle switches, rocker switches, and rotary switches. The type of switch that is best suited for a particular application will depend on the specific requirements of the application. When installing a switch, be sure to follow all applicable electrical codes and safety regulations. It is also important to use proper wiring techniques and to ensure that all connections are tight and secure. Regarding the original multiple choice question, without knowing the specific volt-ampere rating and voltage of the lighting transformer, it is impossible to definitively select the correct answer from the choices of 1.5 amps, 2 amps, 2.5 amps, or 3 amps. The most appropriate answer would depend on the calculated primary current of the transformer, doubled for safety, as previously explained. The NEC provides guidelines for selecting electrical components, but it does not provide specific tables for matching switch sizes to transformer sizes. Instead, the NEC focuses on ensuring that the components are properly rated for the intended application and that they are installed in accordance with the code requirement. Furthermore, it is important to regularly inspect and maintain electrical switches to ensure that they are in good working order. This includes checking for loose connections, damaged insulation, and other signs of wear and tear. If a switch is found to be damaged or worn, it should be replaced immediately. Safety is paramount when working with electricity. Always de-energize the circuit before working on any electrical components. Use appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses and gloves. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. By following these guidelines, you can select and install a switch for a lighting transformer that will provide safe and reliable operation. The selection of an appropriate switch involves a careful consideration of the transformer's characteristics and the relevant electrical codes. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns.